Hello, friends. My name is Jill Baker. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve you all as one of Oregon Health Authority's Youth Suicide Prevention Coordinators. This video is meant to help prepare you to participate in the survey you have received from the University of Oregon's Suicide Prevention Lab regarding feedback on the Youth Suicide Intervention and Prevention Plan, also known as the YSIPP, for our upcoming year. Just as a reminder of where we've been, beginning back in March of 2020, we have gathered stakeholder feedback through surveys, focused interviews, small focus groups, and committee meetings within the Alliance to Prevent Suicide. We have synthesized and analyzed and cross-referenced that feedback, and we placed it into the suicide prevention framework. The massive amount of feedback that we received became the pathways listed on the Youth Suicide Prevention Framework. And there's a link to that infographic embedded in this survey for your reference. Before I explain what we need from you in this survey, remember that we are not starting from scratch. The project plan for YSIPP 21-22, which is themed Growing Roots, includes a continuation of so much good work that is currently happening across our state. An example, Big River suicide prevention training programs will continue, and we are adding in tasks that will align with the theme of Growing Roots, like creating heat maps of trainers for each program for counties to use, and investing in a common operating system for tracking evaluation efforts. Another example of initiatives that we already committed to are supporting implementation of past legislative mandates around transitions between levels of behavioral health care. This type of project is necessary to keep watch over and allows our roots to grow from past good work. These are just two examples. So before answering the questions in this survey, if you would like to ground yourself in what we already know we're doing and the initiatives we have already committed to continuing in 21-22, please check out the document linked in the survey called YSIPP 21-22 Agreed Upon Initiatives. Aside from all the good work that's already happening and that we know we will be doing, there was a bank of ideas generated in response to the question, what else? What should Oregon look at next? What should we start doing that we aren't already working on in the field of suicide prevention? Some of the ideas in this bank are specific tasks, while others were larger initiatives or projects. At the June 2021 Alliance to Prevent Suicide meeting, small breakout groups debated and tried to come to consensus around what might be the next right step for Oregon to take in different areas. What else could we do that would have an impact in our communities? This breakout group process produced over 20 possible new high impact initiatives representing several goal areas in the suicide prevention framework. Next, a small group of 10 people, 5 representing the Alliance to Prevent Suicide and the 5 OHA suicide prevention coordinators, met together several times to try to come to consensus on which of those named 20 plus high impact possibilities floated to the top as far as impact for Oregon. We already knew that all of these initiatives are high impact by virtue of the process in which they were generated and affirmed. But knowing that we can do anything, but we cannot do everything, that small group landed in consensus on 6 new initiatives that we're proposing are the next best steps for Oregon to take a statewide look at. One of those top 6 is called organized infrastructure. The small group placed organized infrastructure at the top of the list for prioritization due to the critical impact this initiative will have for the collective us. We think that by having an aligned and organized infrastructure, it will allow our work to move forward more meaningfully and effectively. Due to this recommendation from the small group, OHA's suicide prevention team has agreed to name this initiative as our top new initiative in the 21-22 YSIPP project plan. And therefore, it is not included in your survey today for feedback. It has already been added to what we know we're doing in the YSIPP 21-22 agreed upon initiatives. What we're asking for is feedback on the other top 5 impact possible new initiatives. We're asking you to double check our work. Did we get it right about what initiatives would have the highest impact for suicide prevention statewide in Oregon if it were included in the project plan for the collective us to work on? You will see 2 questions in the survey. The first question In the first question, you'll see two lists. One is populated with the top 5 priorities that we proposed are the highest impact next best steps for Oregon. The initiatives that we think if we added in statewide efforts in these areas, it would make the most difference in reducing suicide in Oregon. The second list will be the remaining 20 plus initiatives that were generated by the Alliance Quarterly Breakout Groups process, all of which we know are also high priority and will have a huge impact, but they did not float to the very top to be included in the top 5. You will be asked to either affirm the top 5 as the very highest impact by leaving them in that list, or choose one or more of the suggested 5 to remove and replace it with another possible new initiative from the bank of high priority initiatives. This will allow us to double check our work. The second survey question will show you the list of all the initiatives together and will invite you to name one more highest priority initiative. In other words, if you were given the chance to add one more initiative to the top priorities list for us to work on next, making it a top 6 list instead of a top 5, what would you add in the number 6 spot? I want to remind you that our intention is to do this part of the process annually. Each year, we will assess where we are at with suicide prevention in Oregon and collectively decide on what the next best step might be. A sincere thank you for giving us your valuable time, for continuing to show up to do this work, for helping us build a better, safer Oregon for our youth. And I look forward to working with all of you on this.